Hello everybody, my name is Jay. I'm one of the expert IELTS teachers here at E2 Language. In this live class, I'm going to teach you how to do the IELTS reading task called table completion. It's not the most difficult one out there, but it does require a bit of understanding and a nice method. So, as you may know by now, there are 11 different question types in IELTS reading, from multiple choice to short answer questions and everything in between. This one is task type number 9. This is the table completion. You may also see like a summary completion or a flowchart or a note. This is the table. So let's go through the method because you may see this one on test day and it might look something like this, right? That, my friends, is a table. And obviously you can see 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 with a ... next to them. They are the gaps which you need to fill from words from the text, with words from the text. So the first thing you'll need to do on test day is read the instruction, because there's a critical instruction there that says choose no more than 3 words from the passage for each answer. Sometimes it might say 2 words or 1 word or 1 word and or a number, or it has multiple variations on the instruction. So read the instruction carefully. This one means that we can put 1, 2, or 3 words into this gap. No numbers, just words. 1, 2, or 3 of them. Okay, that's cool. So this is what our answer sheet may look like on test day. For example, we might have the word hot or West Australian or winter or 22 or dry and arid. Let me point something out here. Yes, this is a number, but it's the written form of the number. So you cannot write 22, but you can write 22 because it's 1, 2 words. Be careful with proper nouns. This had a capital letter in the passage, so therefore I will write a capital letter on my answer sheet. If I wrote Australian with a lowercase a, it would be marked as incorrect. The other thing you need to watch out for is in the passage you might get a word that has a dash. So it'll be a word dash other word. You need to write it exactly as you found it from the passage, okay? And here we have dry and arid. That is 3 words. This is what the passages will look like. Let's just cut to the chase. I want you to try to do this as best as you possibly can. It's going to be 3 minutes of your life, okay? That's it. It's going to take 3 minutes. And I want you to get all, how many questions are there? 5 questions right, okay? Yeah. Yep. I think you can do it. Let's see. First of all, before we do it, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to look carefully at this table so you know what to look for, okay? I want you to read down the columns. I want you to read across the rows and get an idea of what you might, I want you to predict what you might write into these gaps. Okie dokie. Just before we start, I just want to check that everything's okay. I think everything's okay. All right, let's get to it then. Let's do this. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes. There's the passages. There's the table. Let me move this thing. There's your little answer sheet. So you're going to write your answers here or on your piece of paper in front of you. You have 3 minutes to do this. I'm going to give you a hint. All of the answers come from one paragraph. Okay, I don't know how we're going. There's not many answers going into YouTube Live. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to give you another minute and a half, okay? But I'm also going to give you a big hint. So let me give you the big hint first. All of the answers are going to come from this paragraph here, okay? You don't need to read this, you don't need to read this. So to get 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, please use this paragraph here. I'll give you another half of this, so a minute and a half. All right, let's go through the answers. I'm going to take you through them. I'm going to show you where in the text you should read. I'm going to show you how to do this, where your eyes should be on the table. Maybe some of you just thought that was too bamboozling, too confusing. But yeah, let me walk you through this step by step. It'll make a lot of sense. Okay, so we want to find the species, the Spanish species. Okay, we're looking at question number 9 here, which is in the column preferred climate. So we're going to be scanning our eyes over to look for the word climate, and especially the word Spanish, because we want to know what type of climate this dung beetle lives in. So the sentence highlighted says, in the cooler environments of the state of Victoria, the large French species is matched with smaller, temperate climate Spanish species. So what's going to be the answer there? We're looking at the preferred climate. In the last phrase, it says temperate climate Spanish species. Now you need to make a decision. Are you going to just write the word temperate, or are you going to write temperate climate? Because here it already says climate, and here it says cool. It doesn't say cool climate. So we're just going to take a single word for number 9, and the answer is, I hope you got it, temperate. Okay, number 9 was temperate. Let's do number 10, right? This time we're still looking at the Spanish dung beetle, but we're looking at when it starts its active period. I don't really know what that means, but I can see that the French beetle starts its active period in late spring. So I know I'm going to be looking for a season or a month, perhaps, some sort of time period for number 10. Now, the French species is mentioned first, the Spanish species is mentioned next. Then it uses this interesting language, and it says the former, and it also says the latter. The former is the one that comes before, and the latter, you can think of the word later, that came later. So we're interested in this second sentence here, the later or the latter, because now it's talking about Spanish species. The latter, which multiply rapidly in early spring, produce 2 to 5 generations annually. So their active period, they multiply rapidly. So that's definitely active in early spring. Remember, we have 1, 2, or 3 words. So the answer for number 10 is early spring. That's the start of the active period for the Spanish beetle. Cool bananas. Let's move on to number 11 now. The number of generations per year. Again, the Spanish beetle. The latter, the Spanish beetle, which multiply rapidly in early spring, produce 2 to 5 generations annually. If you remember back from our instruction, if you had have written 2 to 5, it would be wrong because it said you can only write words only. Now look at this. This is a bit of a trick. It says 1-2. I don't think the IELTS would be that cruel to you, but just be careful. I just wanted to put this in to remind you that you should only use a number if it says use a number in the instruction. Otherwise, you should write a word. You should copy it straight from here, 2 to 5, 2 to 5, 1, 2, 3 words is the answer for number 11. Nice. Now we're going to move on to the South African ball roller beetle, and we can see it here, the South African ball rolling species. Cool. So we're going to be looking at this sentence here. What type of climate does it prefer? What type? Not what climate, what type of climate? Hopefully you noted the compound word there, subtropical. And if you got subtropical for number 12, that's extremely well done. Let's do number 13 now, which 13 says the complementary species. So it's going to be like its friend or the other species it hangs out with a lot. And it says it commonly works with the South African tunneling species. Now, again, we have 3 words. The word species is already here. We can't just write South African. We may have to write 3 words, and I think the answer should be South African tunneling. So, your answer sheet, if you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correct, should have said temperate, early spring, 2 to 5, subtropical, and South African tunneling with 1 L. Who got 5? Can you just, for my sake and for everybody's sake on YouTube, just put your score into the chat below. How many did you get out of 5 there? This was a pretty difficult one. This is a bit of an academic test. Also, while you're at it, and if you're on YouTube Live, if you're not yet a subscriber to E2 IELTS, click that subscribe button down there, the big red button that says subscribe. And there's a little bell next to it. Click that so then you'll be notified when we're doing live streams, which would be totally cool because something will happen on your phone and you'll be like, whoa, E2 languages on the phone. That'd be awesome. Yes. That's all, actually. Yeah. Guys, if you need help with any of your IELTS in any which way, do check out this website. Sign up for free at www.e2language.com. We offer basically everything you need to pass your IELTS test and get the band score that you want, including live one-on-one tutorials, speaking and writing feedback, dozens and dozens of practice questions, sample model answers for your essays and writing task 1, methods lessons on how to structure up for all of the different 7 essays, all lots of different stuff like that.